Yo, what's up guys? Ritsu testing day. And Ritsu's changed a little bit to where his skill 3 is no longer a wall of text, which does help out a little bit. Well, if you combine the two, it's maybe a wall of text, but it's not as bad. But in this case, we don't go for the weird speed buff that we were doing before. We just simply go for an absorb. Plus, we can actually land 2 traps at the same time right now, which is definitely a big change. And in my opinion, he kind of became a sort of Oliver. But is this a really good Oliver? He has a few weird interactions itself. Because, for example, if you're fighting full immunity with Oliver, you simply decide not to use your skills. In this case, you still activate the scroll trap because, or the shadow trap, because you don't have a choice of using it or not using it. It will always be activated, which is a little bit weird. Also, you do get a threat state from this skill, so you are a damagey-ish dealing unit that gets threat state. But since you get the 50% attack bar, you kind of run out of your protection yourself as well. Which is just a little bit of weird things where I'm not really sure if it's... Like, it does a little bit of everything where it's not that bad, but it's also getting kind of weird. I did try it out in RTA. I had that build that you just saw before. As the first starting build, I also went for a little bit of a more tanky build after, which was this build. I did make a few clips, which was on the same session as the video of yesterday on the lights here. If you haven't seen it yet, check that one out as well. However, as mentioned over there, the RNG was not really that great. So I tried to pick out a few points where he did actually showcase as being good. But in a lot of cases, a lot of matches, he just was simply there. He got the hard focus on. He simply died off. He couldn't get a turn. And that's a lot of cases right there where he doesn't give himself that much protection. There's no immunity like a Zeratul has. There's no like anti-stun as the Mi Ying has. Or any of those kind of things. Or Oliver where it's already a 33 lead. It's kind of an Oliver without a 33 lead. He does have the chance of stunning on the skill 1. If he does stun on the skill 1, it's actually very strong. Because he makes you get a stun. But also the moment you take a turn, you go back to 0. You cannot proc out of that. That part is really strong. But the moment you miss some of those or you don't activate those 50%, it is kind of weak. And I have a few clips where it does show pretty decent, but I also have a bunch of clips where it shows like, okay, it's just simply there, it kind of dies off. The good clips were a little bit rare because he did not perform that well and my RNG was not performing that well. I'm not going to be like showcasing a whole bunch of just like me raging all the time. I'm trying to be finding the clips where it actually did do something or I can explain why it did or didn't do anything good. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is kind of the thing which does showcase where Ritsu is a bit interesting. And that is where he becomes a worse Oliver, in my opinion. So, the eyes are on Ritsu. Does not land the mark or wait, does land the mark, does not land the absorb. So, okay, does get the extra turn over there. So, from that way, you can actually get the rotations in. And that's the main thing you want to be doing. So, missed it over there. On both everything, or well, just simply everything. Did take the additional turn, but it simply missed everything. And the moment you miss, you still go on cooldown. So I didn't really do all too much over there. Then we missed the mark once again over there. And we also didn't get the pushback. Now you get stunned. So yeah, then you give the enemy the turn and you just die off. Like that's kind of the thing which I've seen for most of the Ritsu gameplays thus far. Like some matches, it's definitely decent. But a lot of the matches I've seen it thus far, it just misses 1 or 2. You really mess up the rotation and it just becomes like a worse Oliver. Because the big issue is that the moment that you do tend to... if everything is immunity, on Oliver you simply don't use your skills. But on this thing, you have to use your skills. It goes on cooldown. You cannot decide not to use your skills. And that is a bit the big issue. So let's see if this match is any better. Does land the lock, does land everything in this case. Also, the threat state is a little bit awkward because you don't want this character to be hit unless you build it full tank, but I guess. So, okay, does get some heavy smacks in. Yep, and just dies off. So, you could maybe build it a full tank, but is it even that great as a full tank? I'm not sure. Okay, so we kind of have a team over here that might be more of like an RTA-ish kind of team. And let's see how much the Ritsu can actually do. You could build him full on no, what's it called? Just no crit rate attack anything, and then you just make him super tanky. It is an option. I'm not really sure if I'm really liking that option though. So in most cases, you would need a AoE strip to move in front, and then you start resetting things. Okay, we have to reset over there. Maybe we can do some damage in there. We did land the double up in there, which is good. Which is also a little bit weird because did we fully absorb? I'm not sure because his attack bar is pretty much full. My attack bar is halved. he will still take a turn, and therefore I get a turn for just this bit, which, how much does that take? So actually you kind of want to push it back, make sure that it doesn't take the turn. I take the turn in front, and therefore I kind of get a lap turn. So in this case, I would get a lap turn in here. Oh. We got Rex with a primer. We got Alvin with the primer. Thank you very much, guys. So I think in this case, yep. So we get it. That's kind of the rotation you do want to get in, where you do lap the enemy before you get the mark. You get another hit off. Oh, in this case, I'm curious what happens on this. Do we replace the mark still? No, we actually have the mark on 2 characters. That's really good. So we did also still put the mark over there. So that's something that's not really notified, but I thought this read it in the balance patch. But the mark was on 2 people right now, which is kind of good. So in this case, the moment you get this perfect rotation off, Ritsu is actually incredibly strong, because this thing will start taking a turn. But when this takes a turn, I take another turn, I have another mark. So that is the case where it does become very strong. And I think next to an Oliver, it probably has a lot of potential to do that. So now we get a mark, we get the cooldown in again. We get the mark once again, we get another additional turn. With that additional turn, this mark will also now give me another turn, which gives me another chance for another mark, placing another mark over there. So with that, you can cycle back and forth a lot. But does that mean, A, you have to land all of your debuffs to become really strong? Yes. And B, you have to proc a lot to become really strong? Yes. So we're creating another super hard RNG unit right here to become really strong. But does it have some potential? I would say so. It does feel like some potential. And isn't Ritsu like Oliver? It's pretty much exactly like Oliver. The only big issue is that if your full enemy is immunity, then you literally can't do jack shit. So in this case, we actually took the mark when my attack bar was full, which is then a little bit bad. But yeah, it's not the worst out there. So as long as you're outspeeding your enemy, so I think that these units that I'm using over here makes it very good, because right now I will take another turn. Because of that mark, I can take right away another turn right after. So yeah, you can cycle a lot of turns. So putting him to 0 damage, I don't think is really the way. Because as you can see, like, I take so many turns, but nothing is really dying, and I'm just kind of waiting for anything to proc out. Okay, in this case, I did miss the mark over there, which is a pretty big miss. But I still have the other one going back and forth. So I can see the potential in here for a proper match. But if it's actually going to be that good, I am not 100% sure. Yeah, mine is crit rate. But if you were to go fully on no damage, I feel like this already does no damage, to be honest. He's crit rate and he's attack, so I'm not too sure about that, but let's actually give that a few tries in an RTA match. Let's see how much it does in an RTA match. Did he stun with... Yeah, his Shiho did stun a 100 reds target while being glanced with an S2. That is not full activation rate. Yes, you are very right with that. Yeah, he goes for some boring shit right there. Wait, did we just bullfrick his ass? Who do we even move, though? This is definitely a matchup where I think it would have been better to have the Light Zero. But let's see what Ritsu can do. I think it will be permanently stunned and shit, but... Well, let's see. You have the best RNG? Okay, best RNG without getting LDs. Yeah, the insta-armor breaker. The island, absolutely nothing. Think I go for this. Thing is, his S3 still goes through all of this. Oh, wait, did he go S2? S3 should have went through. Actually, maybe I should be starting to focus that one. Okay, this thing is not 100 res though. Well, at least you are stunned by that shot, that's good. And we take those out. You go for the Schnitz Steel. Goes for the stun. That hurts very much, and I don't like that. Yep, that is definitely an issue. Damn, I was hoping it would move the other way around. Can we strip some of that? We stripped absolutely jack shit. Rather S1 or an S3? Well, let's go for an S3 because of Despair stun potential. That was perfect Despair stun potential, actually. Wait, why would you hit that one? That one is not gonna smack your ass with, like, I don't know how much damage. If you lap this, I still should be good. I think he would kill. Yep, does kill. He does have the healing, though. I don't have that, but... does have some more damage output. But I have stuns. Jeez. Yeah, the Ritsu didn't really participate in this match. Maybe he is better if he is full tank. Let me actually give him a full tanker set. I think he has more value that way. Otherwise, he just simply never takes a turn and dies. Ritsu OP Ritsu didn't even participate in that match. Oh, that's the one you already had. Ha ha ha. Okay, I think you're still a little bit too fast. 184. I think it would be better if it's slightly drafted after. Actually, he still has a lot of crit rate, though. Maybe you still move in front, but we'll figure that part out in the first match we use him in. Do we go same draft? Yeah, let's just go same draft. Goes for the Irene once again. Will we switch things up by doing this? I think I will. Okay, with the higher resistance lead, his monkey landing its shit is not as imminent. Also, I left with this thing, because I did see that that one was vile. Very first hit. Stunned. Okay, sir. I guess you gotta land those. I did not land on you, which was the main target that I actually wanted to land on. Could do it on you, could do it on you. I think I'll do on you. Oh, wait. With that, we can get a stun? Oh, we didn't get the stun. That's too bad. Okay, now I'm additional turning a lot. Okay, that gave me the turn. I do have my mark back. Did stun on that as well. Okay, I see the value in Ritsu. I kind of see the vision. I see the value. If we do this right now, I would give my skills back, which I actually don't really want. So let's just go for a kill. Because I get the skill back from you later on anyway. So let's just do this for some damage. And it gives me the threat state, which is kind of good too. And then I take another turn, which I can put another mark over here. Okay, I see the value. Also, in this case, I would have had the mark again. But I might as well just go for the kill. That's kind of the thing where now I wasted his mark fully because I hit something off him or on immunity, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that was a nice rotation. If Ritsu does get the good rotation in, he's definitely strong, yeah. What can you recommend against Ritsu? Or to be played against? Anything you outspeed and you can just like kind of control them. That's the main thing that you're looking at with a Ritsu. As long as you control them, you're kind of golden. Big issue right now is this thing does already hard outspeed my ass. I could go you, but then you definitely go for a Hey Gang, which I don't really like. Then I could still Gianna in the 5th. Now he goes Athena. That's kind of annoying too. Yeah, Ritsu's just hard to be placed because this combination insta-kills this pretty much. There's a lot of combinations which pretty much just insta-kill it. Yeah, Ritsu's kind of like tanky-ish build with high accuracy. But whatever I pick last, he's going to ban it regardless. What I could do is if I still go Megami, I ban this, Shio is in, I stun this thing, hopefully. If I stun the Bayek, I should be good, but I have to stun the Bayek. Okay, we did stun it, good damage too. Does he go for? Does he go for the Ritsu? Let's go for the Ritsu. Push back. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Ritsu just gets super hard targeted all the time. They also take the first additional turn of the game. I'll rather on you than on the other one, to be honest. Okay, not really as many stuns as I was hoping for, but it's a bit of stuns. Can we stun this? Good stun. Not really any worth of doing that at the moment. Okay, I'll lap that as well. Okay, the mark is on it. That's good. The additional turn also. Moment that Ritsu starts shining, you leave. Fuck you! Let me actually showcase that Ritsu can do a dumb thing. Fuck. Because then I could have went for the Oliver, I could have went back and blah blah blah, that kind of shit. Give me content, fucker. So yeah, Ritsu's kind of like an Oliver. The only weird thing about one-to-one comparison is Oliver, if you're at a moment where there's full immunity, you just don't use your skills. Ritsu has to use the passive, always. Final verdict for the Ritsu. I would say this build where he is a bit more tanky and has a bit all stats, which is actually, I think, a pretty good build. Except for this rune, it's all like 230-ish rune stats. I would say he's kind of hard to fit in because he's the first target. He's easy to die. So if you have a good protect the Ritsu comp, he can perform very well. But then again, he still kind of feels like an Oliver without the speed lead that has no element. And the no element part could be good, could be bad, because against water units, it's better to be wind, of course. But against fire units, Ritsu could become your unit for that as well. So it's kind of a back and forth on that. The big issue with this thing, however, is the moment that you have a full immunity on the enemy team, you will still be activating the Shadow Trap. So that's kind of bad. Let's actually see if Guts did maybe... Is he climbing with the Ritsu or did he already drop the Ritsu? He does have a Ritsu game in here. So he's kind of playing similar-ish style as what I was doing. He's not playing that much Ritsu as he was at the start, but let's look if this was like a good Ritsu victory or just a random victory, because that also is very well a chance, a choice, an option, something that could happen. So goes in for the Gianna. It looks more like a Gianna victory over here. Gianna performed some Gianna ways, but could be worse if it didn't land on the Kavachi. Okay, we do have a good lock over there. Good additional turns. Wait, did he miss the lock? Yeah, he did miss the lock. I think he had another chance for a lock. If he locked that one out as well, it would have been really good. Okay, he does have some damage to it. I think it's best way to add some damage to him, because if you go fully no damage, he feels like he's not really participating at all. Okay, lock on the left. Yeah, this was a decent Ritsu match. Did get the additional turn, has a double lock. Or wait, was that a replace lock? No, wait, he took the lock turn from this. Sometimes it's hard to follow where Ritsu's taking all of his turns, if it was like a lock thing or not. Still looks like something you can lose, actually. Unless you take additional turn right now. Oh, no, wait, you have to lock and stun. Yeah, that's the strong part. If it locks and stuns, then it's really strong, because they take 0 turns. Like, that's the real strong part. If he would lock and land a skill 1 stun, which is a 50-50, then he becomes incredibly strong, because he takes away 2 turns from you. Because he takes away the full attack bar that you gained, plus he takes away like the normal stun. So you become a 0 attack bar with the stun on you, which is definitely pretty nice. So I think it's one of those Luxac units that if you face against it, it's going to be incredibly strong and you're really going to hate it. But if you're with it, that you're like, wait, where are all my stuns? Where are all my locks? Where are all my everything? I think it's going to be one of those units. But then again, I think it's pretty interesting.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.